In the interest of everybody's time, though, and one of our guests of honor, we are going to get started. Thank you for being here with us this morning and joining in this celebration. I'd like to start by welcoming a few individuals and saying some quick thanks. This event happens because of our day staff at the fire departments. Every aspect of what we do here this morning is coordinated, set up, supported logistically, and made real by Karen, Zyra, Shauna, Trish, and Nyla, with some support from those of us in uniform, but that team is really the team that makes this happen. So if we can start by just offering our appreciation to that team for getting us here this morning. Also have to thank our Richland Community Center staff. They are not just co-workers in the city. We feel like they're very much part of our team that we are part of, and they play such an integral role in the things that we do here at the city, including helping us celebrate here this morning. So thank you to Richland Community Center staff as well. If we can offer them a quick round of applause. And finally, last but not least, our marketing team, here to record the memories and take some photos as we celebrate badgings and milestones. And again, we could not do what we do today and this morning without your assistance, so thank you as well. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our city manager, John Amundson, and Assistant City Manager Drew Florence, and Deputy City Manager Joe Schissel. Thank you all for being here with us this morning. We do appreciate not just you being here, but the support that you offer us day in and day out as well. Today we come together to celebrate the achievements of our team, marking milestones, welcoming new members, and honoring those who are stepping into the next chapter of their lives. It's more than just a ceremony, it's a moment to reflect on the dedication, resilience, and teamwork that define this department. We also take this opportunity to recognize those who support our first responders, our families, friends, and loved ones, the ones who stand beside us and behind us, the ones who hold things together when we're on duty, the ones who provide strength after long shifts and share in both our triumphs and challenges that come with this profession. If you're here today as a family member or a loved one, I'd ask that you please stand for just a moment and let us, those in uniform, offer our sincere appreciation for the support that you provide to each of us. Your support makes our service possible, and for that we're truly grateful. Thank you. To those in uniform, today we honor each of you reaching significant milestones in 2024, whether it's the beginning of your career, a well-earned promotion, or a well-deserved retirement. But beyond those individual accomplishments, we also celebrate what we achieve together. We're stronger because of the contribution that each and every one of you makes, and collectively we've built an organization that continues to grow, evolve, and serve with excellence. As always, the progress we've made over the last year is a testament to the hard work of every single member of the department. While today we recognize individuals for their achievements, let's also take a moment to acknowledge the broader team, those who mentor, our colleagues inside and out of the city, our city partners, other departments that we work with, and the support staff who make all of this possible. This morning, let's celebrate together. Let's take pride in our department, show gratitude for our community, and appreciation for one another. Thank you all for being here today and for being part of something that is truly remarkable, and that is this organization and the services that we provide in the community. Thank you. We're going to shift, if you have looked at the program on the table, we're going to shift just a little bit. One of our retirees ended up with a scheduling conflict, and so we're going to ask Stein Karsbeck to come up first. We're going to go out of order a little bit. Stein was hoping I was going to let him skate out of here without calling him forward, but we got one step ahead of him. I'm going to ask the chief officers to come forward for this really quick as well. Stein served with our department from March 1st, 1999 to April 29th, 2024. He worked through the ranks as a lieutenant, entry-level firefighter, obviously, lieutenant, captain, paramedic, and medical officer. We have a little video clip that we're going to share with you, but before we do that, I'm going to open the mic to the chief officers here, and I don't know if you want to say a word or two, Stein.
I have nothing prepared, but let the chief. Well,
yeah, go for it.
Well, thanks everyone for being here today, but I just want to say it was a fun ride. I enjoyed working with every single one of the people that was in this room, and some that are not. And just words really can't express the gratitude I have for the city of Richland for treating me well throughout the years, from top to bottom, from John all the way down to through the HR department. I mean, I was treated very well for a quarter of a century, and I feel honored and blessed to have had that. So thank you all.
I have a lot of great memories. Stein and I worked a little bit on shift together, but I think the most and best quality time we had was when I was first appointed to the fire chief role and Stein came over as the medical officer. And in that steep learning curve as a brand new fire chief, to have somebody like Stein in that role who had a wealth of experience, including some private sector management experience, to be able to fill that role and support my growth and learning as a new chief was just absolutely invaluable. And I truly treasure those years that we worked together in that setting. For 25 amazing years, I offer my sincere thanks and appreciation to Stein. It was a great ride, and I hope that this phase of your life is as good as the last 25 years, or maybe even better, huh?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
Absolutely.
Stein, thank you for taking a couple minutes today to sit down and chat with us about your journey, your career here at Richland Fire and Emergency Services. We really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
What's been the biggest change that you've been a part of here within the organization?
Well, it gets talked about a lot, almost to the point where it's almost cliche, but the culture change that we've experienced here that you were a part of, I'd say you and I and then people of our tenure were kind of the tip of the spear of that effort. And Chief Baines, when he kind of put it in our laps and said, what do you want this place to look like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, we were kind of empowered in a lot of ways to implement that. And that's obviously the biggest change I've seen is just our culture, the way we treat people. From top to bottom, it's just, it's been a huge change. And I know we're atypical in the fire service. I mean, we get bragged about a lot by people that are aware of what we're doing here, and I think we're the envy of a lot of places, and I'm proud of that. Because I was just a small cog in the wheel, but we were all a part of that.
Yeah, this organization has changed dramatically from when you hired in and when I hired in shortly after, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We won't go down that path.
Next question.
What about operationally? Is there any incident or call maybe that has stuck out to you? Any big fires or significant calls that have kind of etched into your mind for one reason or another?
It's the ones where there's something funny happened, or somebody did something, like one of our people, a lot of times me, did something boneheaded, or we're in a situation that is just funny. And it might not be funny to most people because there might be some doom and gloom involved, but with our gallows humor that we have here, those are the ones, when I think about calls that I've been on, those always pop into my brain. The one time we got, we had diltiazem, and it became supplied in these weird syringes that had to be reconstituted, and they had a plunger on it, and me and someone who shall remain nameless, you know who you are, we're trying to give this patient diltiazem, and we ended up just spraying it all over the back of the ambulance. And so those are the types of calls when I sit and reflect back on my time here. Those are the ones because I found an element of humor in that, and we did afterwards. Sure. Nobody died. But those are the calls that always come back to me, are the ones that have an element of humor and sometimes intermixed with gruesomeness and all the, all the things that we see.
Steinkarsbeck. Thank you for your flexibility on the agenda this morning. If you want to flip back to page 1, we'll pick back up in the normal progression there. I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Oss to come up and take over the next portion of our presentations, and then we'll keep on going through.
I'm honored to share with all of you today several staff accomplishments for 2024. As outlined in our organizational culture document, we hold ourselves and each other to very high standards. We embrace key expectations and character traits. One of those expectations is to develop ourselves while assisting in the development of others, guided by the character traits of strong work ethic and commitment to lifelong learning. While our collective team achieved many successes throughout this year, 2024, today we're celebrating those who chose to further their education, pursuing personal and professional growth by choice. Their dedication not only reflects who we are as an organization, but also speaks volumes about the incredible individuals that serve our community. In 2024, 4 of our members successfully completed paramedic school. It's a rigorous 2-year program through Columbia Basin Community College. The demanding program requires immense dedication. These individuals spent countless hours away from home attending class, doing ride-alongs, and performing clinical rotations. Few programs in our industry demand the level of commitment of that of paramedic school, making this accomplishment truly remarkable. So if the 4 individuals could stand up and we could acknowledge them: Josh Anglesey, Jason Garrison, Walter Greer, and Colton Roney. I'm not sure I saw any of those 4 here this morning, but we could give them a round of applause regardless. Additionally, in 2024, 2 members joined our department without their EMT, their Emergency Medical Technician certification. Upon successfully completing the 16-week Recruit Fire Academy, these 2 individuals jumped right into an 8-week EMT program. Through hard work and dedication, both of them excelled in their studies and became certified Washington State EMTs in September. Those individuals are CJ Gilderman and Clyde Sims. Also in 2024, we had 3 members complete college degrees. Brenda Rogers, Battalion Chief Rogers, completed a Master of Science in Management and Leadership with a focus in promoting workplace growth and innovation. Takes a master's just to pronounce all that. Trent Nelson completed a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration Management, and Matt Baker, a Bachelor of Science in Fire Administration. If you could stand, please. For years, Richland Fire and Emergency Services has utilized the National Fire Academy to help grow and develop our personnel. Last year, 3 members attended the Service Area Risk Reduction course back at the National Fire Academy. This class is designed for company officers who want to conduct risk assessments in their specific service area. The course teaches how to develop an action plan with effective intervention strategies and activities targeting specific risks. This course also focuses on how a department can plan, implement, and evaluate risk reduction activities that benefit the citizens it serves. Those 3 individuals that attended in 2024 were Josh Anglesey, Jen Dawson, and Trent Nelson. If they could stand, please. Any of them here? In 2023, the City of Richland started what is called the Impact Academy. This is an internal professional development program for current and emerging leaders within the City of Richland. The goal of the Impact Academy is to grow leaders from within the City of Richland, network and build relationships around the city, and prepare these individuals for future leadership roles. In 2024, Andy Sabin was selected to represent Richland Fire and Emergency Services in the Impact Academy. And 2025, just recently, Phoebe Markley was chosen. So if they could stand up and we could acknowledge him. Also in 2024, a Richland Fire and Emergency Services member applied for and was selected to Leadership Tri-Cities. Leadership Tri-Cities is an 11-month development program with a core mission to assemble, develop, and educate a diverse group of skilled leaders who will be catalysts for positive change in our community. Each cadre picks a community service project to complete, and this class of 24 chose to fundraise and restore the exterior of the new recovery center in Kennewick. And Raul Marroquin from Richland Fire and Emergency Services was chosen for that cadre of about 25 to 30 people, and he's done an amazing job representing our organization and the city in his endeavor. I don't think Raul's here either, but we can sure give him a round of applause. Each year, Richland Fire participates in a regional recruit academy. This is a comprehensive 16-week program that combines classroom instruction with hands-on drilled ground experience. The academy covers the fundamentals of structural firefighting, EMS, wildland firefighting, as well as hazmat operations. In addition to training new recruits, the academy fosters professional growth for all the staff that is involved, offering opportunities for subject matter instructors as well as leadership opportunities as academy company officers. In 2024, Richland Fire had 10 recruits graduate, led by a passionate group of instructors, and we'd like to acknowledge them here today. Kevin Landon was the battalion chief that oversaw the academy. Scott Clemenson was the captain training officer, and academy company officers Caleb Castleberry, Chad Miller, and Cole O'Brien. If you could stand, please, acknowledge your efforts. The graduates who completed the academy last year have recently gotten off of probation as of February of 2025, and we'd like to acknowledge those individuals as well. John Cox, Brian Deal, CJ Gilderman, Trevor Hinkle, Brock Nelson, Clyde Sims, Jordan Stromstad, Ethan Wickstrom, and Brian Winston. Additionally, we have 3 recruits in the academy right now. They are doing live fire burns today, so they weren't able to join us, but we'd like to acknowledge them as well. Jacob Doyle, Joshua Stoles, and Cale Stukel. In 2024, we added some administrative staff hires as well. They weren't new positions, they were positions that were vacated and backfilled. We brought on Nyla Holt, who is our community resource navigator, Sean Schluter as a fire plans examiner, which was a new position, and Zaira Osorio for the administrative 1 position. If you could stand. Additionally, in 2024, we had numerous openings on our special teams, which are our hazmat and technical rescue teams. And we'd like to acknowledge those individuals who applied for and were selected and appointed to those teams. Joseph Schwartz was selected for the hazardous materials team. Kyle Filmley, Chris Willett, and Dalton Rentz were selected for the technical rescue team. I'm not sure if any of those individuals are here, but we can sure give them a round of applause as well. We'd also like to acknowledge the individuals who rotated off of day shift. So typically our day shift personnel will come through on a 3-year cycle. And last year, many of them cycled out, and we have a new cadre of day shift personnel joining us in 2025. But we'd like to introduce those individuals and thank those who put in their time and effort over the last several years. Captain Josh Smith is now the training program officer. AJ Fondrick is now the medical training coordinator. Battalion Chief James Hempstead is our Fire Marshal Community Risk Reduction Battalion Chief. And we'd like to thank Battalion Chief Mike Van Beek, Captain Scott Clemenson, and Lieutenant Tim Birch for all of their hard work in 2024 and previous years. If you guys could all stand up, we'd like to acknowledge you. We'd like to acknowledge one other individual, kind of a one-off for Richland Fire and Emergency Services. We had an individual who left last year, middle of the year, and decided to take a position across the river in another organization. So we wanted to thank Steve Austin for his time and commitment here at Richland Fire and Emergency Services. Steve put in 23 years, and he's continuing his career over in Pasco in a new position. So Steve, if you could stand up. Thank you for your service. So 2024 was full of numerous projects, some planned, some not so much, but many of the projects that we embarked on could not have been accomplished independently. We relied heavily upon other organizations, other departments within the city, and we would like to acknowledge some of those departments today. Facilities, if you guys could come forward, we have a certificate for you guys. So from the great flood of 2024 at Station 7-1 to all of the maintenance and daily operations of our now 6 fire stations, our facilities team has continued to deliver and walk side by side with us through all of our ups and downs and challenges. It's been no easy feat, but we are extremely thankful for all that you guys do, your responsiveness, and your ability to keep not only our facilities but our homes up to par and keep them operational. So thank you guys for all that you do.
The next group that we'd like to acknowledge is the team. It's a shortened team because there's a lot of people that make a project like this happen, but Kaylee Bunch, Shauna Knight, and Michael Van Beek. I know Shauna's here. Is Kaylee here? So Shauna gets to come up and represent. This is to recognize the team that contributed to the successful opening of Station 7-6. And again, there's far more players involved than these 3, but from a department standpoint, these 3 are really the people that were plugged in, engaged, and kept the train moving down the tracks. I think every time we've opened a station, the year leading up to that turns into a full-time job for Shauna on top of her regular full-time job in logistics. So Mike did an amazing job of staying plugged in and helping the project coordination and tracking the moving parts in terms of operational impacts and the things that we would need from a operational standpoint. And Kaylee, talking about just teamwork and partnerships in the city, we lost our project manager midway into this project, and Kaylee stepped in and just did an amazing job representing the city in the process of building this facility, but also really plugging in and representing our needs as an organization. And we're truly thankful for the efforts that she made as well, and we'll make sure that we convey that in person following this. But on behalf of that team, Shauna, thank you. And if you haven't had a chance to swing down to Badger South and check out that new station, it is a sight to behold. It's truly a beautiful and worthy of a visit if you get an opportunity.
In order to staff that station out at Badger South, we had to hire, we set out to hire 13 individuals in 2024, which was the biggest hire that we had ever set out to do here at Richland Fire. And in order to do that, we relied heavily upon our human resource staff here in the city. So if they could come up, I'm not sure who's here from Human Resources. We couldn't have got through any of this without them, all the way from application and recruitment to shepherding the background and medical portions to the onboarding of all of our new firefighters. HR has, again, walked side by side with us and made all of it possible. So we are extremely grateful for their support in all that we do. Thank you.
And one final group we want to recognize, again, associated with opening Station 76. If you haven't figured that out by now, opening a station is a giant lift across the entire city. We want to acknowledge our fleet team. Do we have anybody here from fleet this morning? This project fell in the aftermath of trying to recover from the pandemic, the supply chain implications, and all the things that have come with that, including costs running away from where they had been previously. And we were literally in a position where we had to order stuff years ahead of time in order to have it delivered in any kind of expected time frame. And so it was a kind of a Herculean effort across the fleet team to get stuff ordered for us and in queue, and then get it delivered, and then try and get it in service and rolling in our fleet in time, in real time, to get the station open. We mostly made it there. We would not have made it without the support of the fleet team. And this, I think, is kind of a bow on a 20-year plus relationship with fleet that has gotten better every single year. They take such great care of us. We used to hear a lot, when do we get our own mechanic, and when do we do our own fleet stuff? And our fleet department takes such great care of us that question doesn't come up anymore. And this particular example that we want to celebrate today in getting the station open and additions to the fleet is just another example of that relationship and the effort that is made there. So, Drew, thank you for your part in that, and we will make sure to convey this in person to the fleet team as well. All right, that takes us to the part that I think everybody else is here for, and we're going to celebrate some promotions and badgings. The badge that we will present to our newly promoted officers and that will be pinned on our new hires at the end of academy has a rich history associated with bravery, service, and honor. We often talk about the badge as if it is in and of itself the goal we strive for, but we know that it represents far more than a new job or a promotion. It's a symbol of the solemn role and responsibility within our communities that we take on when we accept the badge. It represents the hours and hours of preparation, study, and mentoring that we put into preparing for our next role, whether that's entry level or all the way through the ranks. It represents our passion to serve, our accountability to our team, our attitude, and our work ethic. It represents the sacred bond that exists between our community members who are experiencing their very worst day and each of you who bring the very best to their assistance. So as we go through the process of pinning the badge on each of our members that have reached a milestone in this regard, keep in mind this is the symbol. The symbol represents a whole lot more than the piece of metal that we're putting on your chest. So we'd like to start with our captain promotions, and we'll begin with Caleb Castleberry. He was promoted from firefighter to captain on June 15th, 2024. Caleb could not be with us here today, but we will catch up with him when he gets back. Our next promotion is Chris Denny. Chris was promoted from lieutenant to captain on September 16th, 2024, and he will be badged by Ariel Evans. Our next captain promotion we'd like to celebrate is Tim Estel. He'll be badged by Courtney Estel. Tim was promoted from firefighter to lieutenant on August 26, 2024, and from lieutenant to captain on September 16th, 2024. So if you'd like to put that badge on twice in honor of that works too, but Tim and Courtney, come on up. Our next captain promotion we'd like to celebrate is Dave Pemberton. He will be badged by Carolyn Pemberton. Dave was promoted from firefighter to lieutenant on June 13th, 2024, and lieutenant to captain on September 16th, 2024. This would have never happened 20 years ago, double promotions in a single year, but the growth here has been off the charts, and this is part of that staffing up for Station 76 that we see. Been truly exciting to see the addition to our officer corps with all these guys coming through the ranks here. Next captain we'd like to celebrate is Zach Wallace. He'll be badged by Serena Wallace. Zach was promoted to lieutenant to captain on October 1st, 2024. right, we'll keep moving on the list. We're going to now celebrate our lieutenant promotions. In retrospect, it might have made more sense to do this the other way, but we're going to bring Tim Birch back up, and Amy Birch. Congratulations, Tim. All right, next lieutenant promotion, Colin McCabe, badged by Wynn McCabe. Colin promoted from firefighter to lieutenant on September 16th, 2024.
Can I say a word?
Of course, absolutely.
You're looking at a 50-year firefighter, so you guys might be scared away by looking at me. Volunteer firefighters in Pomeroy, Washington, Garfield County. And Colin may not know this, but he's a fifth-generation firefighter in Garfield County. Was when he joined our force. So it started in 1887.
Wow.
So I don't know how many firefighters can claim that they come from a firefighting family like that.
Very cool. All right, next lieutenant promotion we'd like to celebrate. Luke Money. He'll be badged by Jocelyn Money. Luke was promoted to firefighter to lieutenant on September 16th, 2024. Okay, let me see if I can get this one right. Colt O'Brien is our next lieutenant promotion that we want to celebrate. He'll be badged by his daughter, Anara, accompanied by his wife, Sarah. Did I get that right? Okay. Colt was promoted from firefighter to lieutenant on September 16th, 2024. Okay, our final lieutenant promotion we want to celebrate. Joseph Owens, he'll be badged by his wife, Bethany, and he was promoted from firefighter to lieutenant on October 1st, 2024. Okay, that concludes our promotional badgings. We're going to move now into the segment of our program to celebrate retirements. I'd like to invite the chief officers to come up. And we'll be celebrating Lieutenant Scott Brines and Captain Mike Emmerich. So any of you that have stories that you'd like to share about these two gentlemen, please get queued up. We'll open the mic for some sharing opportunity as well. Okay, first up, Scott Brines, you want to head up front here?
Sure.
Okay, you want to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi. I've been missing the fire department actually since I retired. I never thought I would, but I sure do. I was fortunate enough to stay on the same shift my entire career, minus a little 6-month stint that I had to go be a driver on another shift. But made a lot of great friendships. Value all the people I spent my time on shift with, and hope to see you all fishing someday.
Scott served our organization from June 23rd, 1997 to September 8th, 2025. He also worked up through the ranks to lieutenant, served on the TRT team, was a training coordinator for the TRT team, many years as a paramedic. How many years?
3.
3? You were more than that. No? 3 years? Oh. They were profound years as a paramedic. Scott was also actively involved in the local leadership, served as secretary treasurer for 1052, and 2nd District representative from 2004 to 12. Does that sound right? For the Washington State Council of Firefighters. I'm going to play the video clip from some of Scott's interview, and then we'll say a few more words. Well, good morning, Scott.
Morning.
Thanks for giving us a few minutes this morning to capture some of your parting thoughts as you head into retirement. Do you have a favorite memory along the way throughout your career?
Probably not a specific memory, but I think the things I'm going to miss the most are meals around the table with the crews, swapping stories. I think one of my biggest memories as far as a call would be Ray's Grocery, when they burned Ray's Grocery down in the Y. That was my one and only all call where we went straight to the fire, showed up at Station 1. Ted Rickey told me, get in your car, grab your turnouts, get in the car, go to Ray's Grocery. And first job when I got there was find an air pack. So I just picked one up off the ground. I don't know whose it was. They were probably upset, but it put me in a position to fight fire, so I was excited about it.
Yep, that's, man, I would not have remembered that call. That was a good one. Any advice for the people coming behind you?
Keep an eye on that end date, for one. Know what your number is, know when it's time to go, know when you're not being a contributor anymore, and it's time to begin the next stage in your life. But enjoy it, enjoy every minute of it. It's a fantastic career. I couldn't imagine having done anything else with my life. It wasn't always my goal. I wasn't one of those kids that wanted to be a firefighter. I had other goals that I tried and didn't work out, and it wasn't for me, and then I ended up here, and this absolutely was for me. It meshed with me perfectly, I thought, with my personality and what I wanted to do. So enjoy your time in the fire service. It can be difficult, it can be hard, but it's a lot of fun and it's very rewarding.
You share the coffee cup story?
The coffee cup story, sure. I just like a certain size and style of coffee cup, so I found one that I really liked. It happened to have Grandma. I don't know if you can see that on the camera because it's completely washed out, but it says Grandma 100 times across it. So I knew nobody else would take the cup. So it was always in the cupboard, it was always available to me, and it was mine. And then sometimes somebody would find it around the station and they put it in the dishwasher. And I didn't want it in the dishwasher, I wanted it out so I could have a second cup maybe later in the day. So it just became kind of a don't touch Brian's grandma cup. And I even had an interesting story with one of the rookies. I gave him a hypothetical. I set the coffee cup down in the kitchen and said, what would you do if you came across this cup in the middle of the floor? And he said, well, I'd probably pick it up. And I said, don't touch my cup, ever. So it kind of became a legend. I don't really have that fond attachment to it.
Are you going to take the cup with you? Or
I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I probably won't use it anymore because if it goes through the dishwasher too many times, all the grandmas will be completely worn off.
Nice.
That's been my cup.
That's an awesome token to take with you, I think. All right, I know there's at least one story in the crowd downstream here. I just wanted to share my personal perspective that Scott is sort of the epitome of the quiet, informal leader. He often was not at the front of the crowd or the loudest voice, but when you sat and got his perspective, it was often extremely insightful. And he quietly contributed to this organization in a number of ways that I think went unnoticed or maybe taken for granted over time. But I just want to offer my sincere appreciation and thanks for your service here. And maybe we can run into each other fishing or at the coffee shop before too long as well. So thank you, Scott. I know there's at least one story down there that wants to be shared.
So Scott kind of alluded to it here with the grandma cup with the rookies. As we get raised up and come in, we lean on the senior folks to kind of guide us through the process. And my story being pretty new and being a farm kid from Benton City, didn't know any better, but we had a elderly female in the back of the ambulance and we needed to do a 4-lead. I'm like, all right, I can handle that, no problem. So got the leads on her shoulders. At the time we were putting them on their calves, so I pulled her double knit pants up and she had stockings on. So I thought the right thing would ask was, ma'am, do these stockings go all the way up?
Them stockings go all the way up?
Yeah. So I thought it was fine. I got through the 4-lead, everything was good. We drop her off the ER and he walks over to me and he slaps me and he's like, what is the matter with you? I go, what? He's like, you never ask a lady if her stockings go all the way up. So Scott raised me up through a lot of stuff, and as we promoted up through, I got to be next to him as officers, and it was always comforting to have him behind me or next to me through all of it. So thank you for everything you taught me.
I was going to start out saying this is a family-friendly event, so that really cuts down my material. But one of my first and best memories with Scott was my first union meetings. As Chief alluded to, Scott was heavily involved in the union and was a great mentor for me in that role as the union president now. I had the great opportunity to go to DC several times and ledge conference for the IFF, and the first time I went was with this guy here. And he showed me the ropes, showed me the way around, and I was there this year with Stovall, and I was the old guy showing the new people around. So many good memories with this guy, and the one thing I really want to thank him for is he gave me, a good friend is going to tell you hard truths, and the best piece of advice I've ever gotten, and I needed to hear it, and it was hard to hear it, but it was, I'm not going to share what that advice was. I've shared it with other people before, but as I thought about my family and friends that are here and the other people that made this possible, Scott is one of those guys that I just want to say thank you, Scott. I love you, man.
All right, so Scott, we've got a shadow box for you down here, and then we'll all migrate down to the photo booth and get a photo as well. Our final retirement that we want to celebrate today is the celebration of the man, the myth, and the legend. Captain Mike Emmerich. Mike, if you would come forward. Mike served with the department from September 27th, 1990 through September 28th, 2024. He also worked up through the ranks, serving as lieutenant, captain, training officer, also inspector, right, in there? Yep. Primary liaison for our PPE program, incident management team member, and a hazmat team member, and probably a dozen other hats along the way that are not specifically on that list. I'll open the mic to you, Mike, if you would like to say a word.
Good morning, everybody. I didn't know I was going to have to do this, but
We'd like to surprise you guys.
Yeah. I have people to thank, and the first one is God for giving me this opportunity, and the second is my wife and family. Sorry, for supporting me, being an ear to listen to, and to always loving me with no matter what I brought home from this. And if you've done the job, you understand. So thank you, wives and family. You serve a bigger role than you really know. And then, of course, to my RFD family, thank you for all the support and love you guys gave me. And retirement's great.
We'll watch a couple minutes of your video clip as well, and then we'll have a few words for you too, Mike.
What? Come on, you were once my firefighter. I know you could talk to me.
I had the words and then they didn't come out. Tell us about maybe a favorite memory you have from your time here.
I have so many good memories here. It's so funny. I mean, everybody says it's great memories. There's been some bad memories too. I mean, yeah. You know, but there's always the good tend to stand out in your head. And one of my favorite, it's fitting I'm behind this engine. It's gonna make me cry. Charlie Bryan. Yeah. He sitting there with Mulroy. You guys never probably even heard of Mulroy. Just laughing and laughing and laughing for 3 hours. I'm a new firefighter. I tried to get up to go out at Station 7-2 and do something. He just kept, sit down, son, and started telling more stories. When I stood up, my abs were literally cramping because I'd been laughing for 3 hours straight about their escapades, about how this place was different. Yeah. Yeah, you know, some of them probably people don't want to hear, like waking up halfway to Pendleton, not knowing which way is home, knowing they had to be on shift in an hour. Yeah. Sitting on a side road passed out because they've been driving back.
Oh my gosh.
And that was somebody I know, by the way. I think he was the, oh my goodness. You know, and I think the same thing fits with you know, when bad things happen and we make them right, or we make them better. You know, that's always been and I'm going to answer one of your questions, one of the things I'll miss the most, along with riding around in a fire truck.
Of course, it's going to be that real. 34-year career here, you've been able to do some really cool things that many of our members, you know, won't get to do or choose to do. So what, after that tenure, what advice do you have for the folks that are going to remain here and continue to carry on the mission?
Oh, let's see. I said, you know, I said this to somebody the other day, and I think it rang quite true. I'm not sure I can capture it just right, but work hard and love what you do, and just keep going. Because there'll be bad times, there'll be seasons where things aren't great, and there'll be seasons where things are awesome. You just got to keep pushing through. So, I think one of the advice I've always given my young firefighters is to have fun at this job, and if you wouldn't say it in front of your mom, just don't say it.
I will start and then pass the opportunity for the mic downstream. One of my vivid memories is as a brand new recruit firefighter, or actually a probationary firefighter. I was out of recruit school, and I got assigned to Station 3 with Captain Emmerich, I think Lieutenant Emmerich probably at that time, and we had what 30 years later is a very, very low-key fire. External, I think there was some like firewood involved, and it had lapped up to the house, and there was some siding burned. But as a brand new, like 20-year-old probationary firefighter, I was ramped. It may have been my first fire here, probably the first time pulling hose on an actual fire. And my ADHD was in full mode, and I was bouncing all over the place. And I distinctly remember Captain Emmerich continuing to try and like dial me in and focus me. And we got done. He said, "Okay, let's lock and load." And I had no idea what that meant. And so I just continued to do my thing. And he's like, "Huntington, lock and load." So I figured out in short order what we were talking about. And the thing that I appreciate about Mike is we got back to the station, and he said, "Sit down for a minute." And he sat me down at the kitchen table and said, "Listen, we got to dial this up a little bit. We got to be on the same page. I need to know that when I give you a direction that this is what it's going to look like." And back in that era, that kind of just honest dialogue and feedback, and like not to beat me about the head and tell me I did a poor job, but to get me dialed in to where I was performing to expectation. That felt like, even as a brand new firefighter, that felt like an investment. That felt like an officer that cared about me and wanted me to be able to perform. And that you probably don't even remember that, I'm guessing.
I don't.
Yeah. But in year one, as a brand new firefighter here, you made a profound impression on me and really modeled a behavior of investing in people here that I've tried to emulate for 34 following years. So thank you. I'd offer the mic to anybody else that'd like to speak, and also anybody in the audience, get ready to come on up if you like.
So I got hired in 2001, which was the same time that Captain Emmerich got promoted to the captain position and assigned the training division, against his choice, I believe. So as a brand new firefighter, early 20s kid coming in the door, my first experience with Richland Fire and Emergency Services was meeting this guy at the training, in the training room. Big eyes, gung-ho, ready to rock and roll. I had never been so intimidated in my entire life. There were 7 of us in my recruit class, and Mike went above and beyond to make sure that the 7 of us were successful. He invested everything that he had in all 7 of us, and took it personally. And I've always appreciated that about him. His desire and passion to serve this community and to serve this organization from day one, from 2001 until his retirement just this last year, has been unwavering. He hasn't He hasn't changed. He hasn't, his desire to serve and desire to continue his education and get better at his craft has been just absolutely amazing and inspirational. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chief. Anybody else want to say a word?
I came in about a year after Mike and grew up alongside him. We both grew a lot, and I got to echo what Chief Oss said, and the passion that you brought about the job until you walked out the door was pretty incredible.
Thanks, Chief.
And this is why I didn't want to talk.
Me too.
So I do really want to thank you and all the lessons we learned together, whether it was here at home or serving out in the wildland throughout the state. You reflected high values and passion. So.
There's a lot of stories here.
Yeah, I could go on and on. I really have to thank Mike for pushing me and assisting me through my wildland adventures. He's been through a lot of it with me, and I appreciate all the help you gave me there. One thing, as I watched and observed the officers ahead of me as I was creeping up the ranks, one story that really sticks out and that I really appreciate is the fact that sometimes as an officer you have to step in the middle of something to protect and make sure your crew is taken care of. And the story that I always remember is that they were, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, they were in a doctor's office, and the doctor that had called 911 for assistance touched one of Captain Emmerich's paramedics. And at that point, Captain Emmerich stepped in front of the doctor and said, "You touched one of my firefighters, now you get the captain." And that was the end of it right there. So I appreciate you teaching us all and always being there as the final line that you will not cross and nobody's coming by you. So thank you.
Okay, anybody from the audience have a story or something to share?
Well, as the previous speakers alluded to, Mike was an amazing mentor. He was my first captain when I got done with the academy and hit shift. And like the other speakers have talked about, we haven't arrived at these badges, our positions, without great mentors. And that's what Mike was for me. He set the foundation for my career, and I certainly wouldn't be a captain today if it wasn't for his great mentorship. So thank you, Mike.
One of our goals is to thoroughly embarrass all of you guys that are retiring.
How are you, brother? Good. How are you? Good. All right. Well, I think Captain Denny, yeah, I will. I know this is a kid-friendly family event. But just like what Captain Denny just mentioned, that, you know, Mike, he just oozes bravery, service, and honor. And just like DC Ost, I was hired in 2001, a few months after the Magnificent Seven. And again, you got Mike that sits down, he's my training officer, sits down with my wife and I, and he's just like, if you're late, I'm gonna fire you. If you fail a test, I'm gonna fire you. And so you got my wife and I are just like shaking, you know, and I'm just like, oh God, this guy's gonna be intimidating, you know. And but I, over the years, out of the 23 years, I would say I served over half of my career with this guy. And I really do believe that if it wasn't for his leadership, his skill level, and just his overall involvement and service, I wouldn't be where I am today. He was like a father figure to me throughout my career, and helped me through the 23 years that I've been here, on and off duty. So enjoy the next phase of your life, and enjoy. Thanks.
Okay, oh, here comes Adam.
Mike's a lot of things. If it could be broke, he'd break it. And I remember coming in, he was one of my first captains, him and Tim Sharp, my first captains. And a lot of people said, oh boy, you got Mike, sorry. And you know what, it was the best thing for me. Taught me a lot of things. I remember the first meeting with Mike, we used to do our shift briefings out in the bay at Station 7-1. Went around the room, introduced everybody. Ryan Nielsen was there. He said, I'm Ryan, and Mike said, Lieutenant Nielsen. And then Ryan came over later and said, no, it's Ryan. But the thing with Mike is you always knew what his expectations were. He made them clear. He cared about you. He would literally probably give you the shirt off his back. I could go on and on about him, but the one story I want to share, very early on in my career, we used to not have Recruit Academy. It was me and Chief working through books and then going and challenging a test. And I ended up having a health scare very early on, and I had to take an IPSEC exam, and I was not in the right headspace. And Mike's like, hey, come here. And he got me through a very tough time.
Thanks, Adam. Anybody else have a memory or a story you'd like to share? All right, Mike, if you want to head that direction, we've got a shadow box for you, and we'll get a photo. Okay, one more round of applause for our promotions and our retirees today. We have this one day a year where we come together and celebrate. It's really kind of a snapshot, and as I said at the beginning, there's so much more that happens within the organization. But to everybody that was badged today, to our retirees, each of you contributes something special and unique. Sometimes, unfortunately, we don't fully recognize that until after the retirement, and we get to look back a little bit. But for each of you who have been promoted and are serving in officer roles now, you have a unique and profound opportunity to impact the people who work with you and the people that we serve in the community. And these three gentlemen that we've celebrated this morning are a prime example of what that can look like. So to our retirees, thank you, and to everyone whose promotion we celebrated, thank you as well. That concludes the formal portion of our event today. I'm going to ask everybody that got badged for promotion to come over and get a formal photo at the photo booth, because I missed that in the itinerary that Karen gave me. So we'll do that a little out of sequence, but that way we can maybe get your families up there with you if you want to do that. And let's make sure we get a photo of everybody that got a badge this morning. And we have the room for another 45 minutes or so, so please don't feel like you got to exit out of here in a hurry. Hang around, share stories. It's a rare opportunity to get some time together, so please hang around with us for a few minutes, and let's continue the celebration informally. Thank you for being here today, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next year with some additional celebrations to be had. Have a great day.